You know it's serious when they come with the superseding indictments. Eugene Henley, Big U, has been hit with the superseding indictment. Another indictment, I guess, yesterday evening or something. I'm trying to get on my Pacer monitor to get the documents, but it's telling me I'm blocked from Pacer for some reason. I don't know, so I'm going to have to call Monday, even though I pay my monthly fee. But anyway, so Big U has been hit with a superseding indictment. I know you've seen, or some of you've seen the probably other references or clickbait videos. I don't, saying stuff about Nipsey Hustle and all that. All that stuff is already in the first big indictment, which I already read through for you. So I'm going to put up part of that in the next video. I'm going to put that, we'll put the essence of that back up so you can see that again. Because I don't know how much new, I don't think there's anything very, any more serious than what's already been in the first indictment. But some of the things that they just mentioned in the first indictment, for example, him threatening to kill Whack 100, them chasing Whack 100 at the concert, talking about having other people beat up, those are being added as overt acts. And overt acts are the scariest part. Why everyone should be, not everyone if you're not committing a crime, but what makes the RICO law so dangerous in the hands of a prosecutor, because they can mention things that you're not being charged with as a crime. Like, just because they're turning like the Whack 100 stuff into an overt act does not mean Whack 100 made a police report, or I don't know what Whack 100 did or didn't do, but don't think that. It just means if it's racketeering, it's a RICO. These are just part of your continuing pattern of criminality. They don't have to be listed as a crime. Often sometimes in real bad cases where there's a lot of murders, they may only charge you, like the Best Friends in Detroit, the gang from the 80s, the Hitman gang. They charge them with maybe 15 murders per se, like exact murders. But they mentioned 40 or something. And you would think, well, how can you just mention something? Doesn't that prejudice like a jury or judge against? But that's what a RICO is. It's, even if we can't charge you with these things individually, we're going to mention them all. So they added the overt acts. I think in reference to Nipsey Hustle, they added overt acts of him on phone calls. Remember, this is all in the first indictment, and I'm going to repost some part of that in a little while. I'm not beefing with Nipsey Hustle, because if I had been beefing with him, he would have been dead. Well, he was dead by that time, so you take that for what it means. He's saying, I'm the hunter of the Rolling 60s. I'm the big, Nipsey wasn't bigger than me. I'm the biggest Rolling 60. Now, a statement like that is equivalent, for the prosecutors, them saying that some members of the Rolling 60s are organized crime. That's like a guy saying he ain't the boss of the Gambino crime family, I am. So that's why these things are being turned. So all this stuff was in the initial 103 or 132 page, whatever, indictment. They just weren't, they were just like background. Now they're overt acts proving an ongoing RICO conspiracy. So if you're saying that Big U ran something called the Henley Enterprise that overlapped with some portion of the Rolling 60 street gang, him saying, I'm the biggest Rolling 60, I'm the hunter, anyone says anything against me, I, will, kill him, Nipsey couldn't have been beefing with me, because if he was, I would have killed him. these are all proof. Now, when his son got killed, which is sad, but I don't know anything about it, but obviously one would think someone took the opportunity to Big U and whatever, his muscle being locked up, or people jumping ship to kill his son, because maybe somebody feels like Big U killed their son. I'm sure many people do, or some people do. Whether he did or not, I couldn't tell you. So, the new charges are new crimes, are stuff like introducing contraband to a prison, so selling cell phone, like, well, I guess recently having people take cell phones into prisons and selling them. Maybe some of it is drugs into prison, and the prosecutor describes it as Big U's enterprise even included preying on inmates by selling them phones and drugs. So I don't know if you're in prison and you wanted a cell phone and Big U had someone bring it up and you paid for it, I don't know if you'd think of it as him preying on you, but that's what the prosecutor's saying. So there is no new, like, revelations about, something to do with Nipsey Hustle. If you don't know what I think happened with Nipsey Hustle, if you didn't see what my take on it, I think circumstantial evidence points to, they had a fight in front of people, and this led to him getting on the phone with different people saying, I'm the biggest roller 60, he's not bigger than me. Nipsey did not disavow his gang membership, so there was probably like this struggle, or at least an unspoken struggle of who. But Nipsey had to be the more, it would be more attractive to be part of his crew, because he's a celebrity, was a celebrity, and was generating, well, he might not have been generating more money. Hard to say. Sounds like, Big U was picking up. It does, in a summary of it, I think there's more overt acts of pressing different business people. He threatened to, he was in some business in South LA and they weren't going to give him a discount. He said he was going to tear the place up. It seems like he was kind of like carrying himself like a mafia boss. Like, everywhere I go, hey, I want this, give me some of that, my hand in your pocket, I want some of what you got, donate some money, give me this, buy me that. And you made a mistake by putting yourself in his orbit. Now, I wonder, though, they're going to have to get I wonder who's going to testify against him. Some of these celebrities or business people, other than that Mark Morrison, the weed shop owner, he's no good his testimony's not gonna put anybody in prison for a long period of time, because I don't want to misspeak, but he had some pimping charges, and you know what comes with that, what type of registration comes with that. He had mailing drugs to Ohio. So a defense attorney could make him look bad on the stand. They're going to have to get some of these celebrities. If they're going to call what Big U was doing extortion, somebody's going to have to say they gave the money under duress. Like they keep showing Draymond Green and Shaq, and I know it's fun on the internet to say, oh, it's extorting, and but is it really extortion, or were those guys donating to something and Big U and them were just pilfering the money? Brick Baby may be subject to some other indictment as well, though, too. I'll have to do a separate thing on that, but there's all in some of the motions to suppress. There's some more wiretaps. It shows part of the wiretaps. He has extensive conversations about selling people guns, multiple guns, and talking about having narcotics, his bags marked with a T. Now, I think that was just, might have been putting his weed in the dispensaries that Big U would go rob. And it was like, well, whatever you rob, if it has a T on it, give it back to me. But Brick Baby has a lot of gun sale stuff. And they had wiretaps on Big U in this is mentioned in the motion to suppress, like 2016, 2018. Some of it was out of Georgia. There's wiretap stuff and maybe rolling 60 type stuff out of Georgia. And we know Quando Rondo had his indictment. I wouldn't be shocked to find out Quando Rondo told them about, provided some information about Big U or something that led to a wiretap. Because Quando Rondo was indicted in Macon? Where's he from? Savannah, Macon, for a rolling 60 thing. And there is wiretaps that were put on Georgia phones or out of Georgia on Big U. So they were on Big U for years. I think that the murder of Rayshawn Williams out in Las Vegas is what caused them to bring the case in. Because they had been wiretapping and all that, but he never did anything that was quite... See, the same exact thing happened to Suge Knight. There's a bunch of stuff about Suge Knight, same exact stuff, getting money from athletes, businesses, taking stuff from people, making people buy him stuff, but it was never quite because remember, like, the stuff is serious and is bad, but a federal prosecutor, especially in a big ass city like LA, well, there's crazy stuff going on, right? I mean, there's, gang stuff where they got 8 murders, 12 murders, Mexican mafia, white skinhead killing people in prison and all kind of crazy stuff. Not to mention huge drug stuff, not to mention massive fraud, billion-dollar fraud cases. So they got some gang member who's beating people up and, making, somebody give them some money or taking somebody rapper's chain at a club. It's just not enough of a priority. A lot of people, many people, I'm sure I've been on phone talking about minor crimes. It's just not a priority. The feds are there to indict high-level cases. And the Big U stuff he knew, I don't know if it was just luck or he knew how to do it to where it's kind of like people know what you're doing, but it's not quite enough to like I know people who made significant sales to a federal undercover, but it took the police, the DEA, some time to get in the house, and they flushed the bulk of it, and they got caught with, like 4.5 ounces or something, and the DEA never pressed the charges, because the DEA doesn't exist to make 4.5 ounce cases. Now, I mean, maybe back in the day, or if it was hard or something, but they choose not to pick stuff up federally. People always get, you know how much weed got caught in the mail in the last 10 years? Other stuff caught in the mail. I know people got boxes caught in the mail. Then the charges never come because it's just not quite big enough. Oh, you got caught with 8 pounds of meth? Well, we got 10 sets of people that had 80 pounds and up, and so we're going to charge them. But we got your name on file, and when we get you for something serious or we have to bring you in, like the murder, like, he's killing people now. He's not just saying he's killing people on the phone. We got a murder we're directly linking to him. Now all the stuff from your past gets brought up. And that's why Suge Knight had to take a 27-year plea agreement when frankly, if you remember Suge Knight, I mean, even if he was kind of pressing Dre inappropriately, the bottom line was he was in a parking lot. The guy gets punched by another guy who was a big guy and a known whatever street guy, and he backs up and tries to get away. How the hell that gets you 27 years in prison? Well, it's because they showed Suge all this other stuff, and they would have indicted him like they did Big U with all these extortions, robberies. They would have had overt acts of you did this to this one and that one. Look, the internet is full of celebrities telling stories about, oh, Jamie Foxx and Suge Knight would come to the party. You know, he would show up at everybody's party and everyone would get scared. Because the LA has some weak-ass police, really. And it's so big that, and there's so much going on and so many celebrities, and the celebrities be relaxed, like, you know, it's just 8 of us celebrities at this house, and oh shit, some gang, like real gang members are here. Like, what are they gonna do other than give it up? New York is there's so much police everywhere. You're not gonna go extort people on Wall Street, or you're not gonna extort celebrities like that there unless they put themselves in the line of fire. If you stay in Manhattan in one of those big buildings, the police are around. Like, guys aren't just gonna pull up and intimidate you. Not on Wall Street. It's just not physically possible. I mean, anything's possible, but you know what I'm saying. So Big U's in the same predicament as Suge, or Suge was in the same predicament as Big U, and you see he pled out for 27 years. They're adding these overt acts because you only need, I don't know what the number is, 3 to prove, I don't know, 3 overt or 5 overt acts or something for the RICO. So the more overt acts they can add officially to the record, like chasing Whack 100, like talking on the phone and saying, I'm the biggest Big 60, I'm the hunter of the Big 60s. Even though that's not a crime in and of itself, it's an overt act. And if you prove enough of them, you prove the RICO. So you can, once you start having, I think they're up to over 150 overt acts. How are you going to beat 150 incidents? They just got to show that a few of those occurred. Interestingly, like there was not that long ago, 2 years ago, there was a Korean member of the Grape Street Crips who they gave him a long stretch. They gave him about 20-some years or 27 years for, in Koreatown, they have kind of like their own underground nightclub type of thing where, I guess it's in the Korean culture, like you go to the club, you buy a bottle of liquor, girls are brought over to you. It's not necessarily prostitution, but you pay for them to sit and talk to you, and then it might lead to prostitution. And there's these vans that would drive the girls around and drop them off at the clubs, and this Korean Grape Street was taxing them. So what Big U did, or is accused of, is like 20 times what that guy did, and he got over 20 years. So they're adding overt acts, so it's going to be harder and harder for him to beat all of them. And especially when the overt acts are his voice on the phone talking. How do you beat that? How do you get out of that? Well, you can't, probably. How old is Big U? He's late 50s? I mean, people live to be older these days, but he's a big guy. Usually bigger people don't make it just because it's harder on your heart. Hard to see him getting out. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. They're gonna have to, if he can beat that murder. But like I said in my story yesterday, the studio owner, whoever it is, I think it's Molly Mall, who's under pressure from the feds. When these criminal conspiracies finally fall, all this stuff that didn't seem like a big deal or you got used to doing. So any of you that are, not that anybody watches my show does anything illegal, but all these things you're doing on a daily basis that don't seem like a big deal. Like I used to tell people, say you're middlemaning drugs. If you just sell a ounce of cocaine a day, or a little more than an ounce, that adds up to 1 kilo a month, which is 12 kilos in a year. Say you're just middlemaning about an ounce of crack a day, which is kind of a lot, but it's not really. You might only be making, in Detroit, I don't know, you make $50. I don't know what stuff is going for. I can get them for $7, and you come get them from me for $7.50, and you get one every day, and maybe on Friday you get 2, so it adds up to 1 kilo in a month. 5 kilos or more of crack put you at some real bad sentencing guideline, like, I'm sure a 10-year minimum, or maybe more, maybe a 20-year minimum. So if I'm just making $50 a day all year, middlemaning 1 ounce crack deals, oh no, that gets me to 12 kilos. No. To get to 5 kilos, no, I just got to sell a half ounce a day. I'm middlemaning a half ounce a day. I might only be putting, I can get a half ounce for $3.50. I'm gonna give them to you for $3.75 sometimes. So I'm making $25 to $50. Then over the course of a year, I'm at 5 kilos. If they want, they could add that up and give me a conspiracy that's equivalent to like a BMF conspiracy where, your minimum sentence is 20 years. What do you want to do? Now, they don't do that to people because it's not worth, if they got you on a wiretap and all I'm doing is selling people half ounces and ounces of crack, they're not going to make me a target. They're going to let the local police catch me with something and send me to prison for a couple years. Not because they don't think it's bad what I'm doing, but there's people that's obviously selling, just like I'm selling an ounce a day, they're selling 1 kilo a day or more. So they have to make them a target, and they're killing people. If I'm not, many drug people get on the police radar and don't get taken down because they don't shoot anybody. They don't kill anybody. So who are you going to go hit? The people with 8 murders or the people with no murders? The people with 8 murders. Big U probably could have kept going on with what he was doing. Don't know if there's any more developments in the Rayshawn
New text message
Williams
2026
murder, but we shall see.
New text message from Olivia 2026.
So no new charges for Big U other than some overt acts and some other maybe extortion stuff. The things that were already in the bad stuff that was in the phone call, I'll try to repost me going through some of that. And there has been a superseding indictment, but not that exciting as far as I can tell. They're just trying to add more stuff, so it's harder for him to get out of it. But I should have access to the full document soon. I don't know what the hell Pacer had. It says I have to call a 1-800 number. I don't know why I pay for Pacer. Maybe they're just having a temporary system glitch or something like that. We shall see. So there you go. Al Prophet American Dope.